Hey Loki, how's it going? Welcome to the Jam drums drum lesson stream. I'm going to review some concepts about drumming that I think could help people to learn drumming. Um, and we can use the iPad, and I also have an Android that I can demonstrate. But let's see. I suppose I could do a couple rounds of the content, and what I'll do is review the definitions. So let's say we start with terminology, um, and terminology you have like anatomy of the drum set, right? So let's say you have that's the bass drum. We got the bass drum right here. We got our snare, and the snare you can actually hit that two ways or several ways. You can hit that right here on the skin. You can hit the snare. Is sound coming up? Sound coming through okay? If you're able to see that, let me see if I can write that in there. Talking about the different drum definitions. Hoping my mic can pick that up. Are you able to hear the drums now? Um, nice, cool, awesome. So that's one of those pretty crucial things I think a lot of performers have to do. I would say it's not just entertainment performers. It's music performance. It's also like if somebody's going to do a presentation on something, sound check is pretty important. Sound check is always pretty essential. Like if you're like, hey, I got to give a speech or whatever on something. So kind of on the drum parts, um, you got the bass drum, you got the snare, and you got the rim. And you have a tom and a tom and a tom, and then you get the ride, and you can hit the ride right here on the bell, or you can hit the ride like right over here on this ridey area, this kind of outer area. Hi hat, if you hit it while it's closed, it will make kind of a compressed sound. If you hit it while it's open, it'll make a very sort of airish sound. And then you have the crash. So you get the hi hat, the crash, and the ride. Then you got two toms and a floor tom, so they're really all toms. And then you get the bass drum, and you got the snare. So what I did was I also looked into Android, and I noticed that here on Android, this is I forgot the name of this app. This is one of the drum apps on Android. They give you a lot more. They give two crashes, two splashes, two splash cymbals, and then one ride. No, they give you three splashes. Yeah, three splashes, one ride, two crashes, and a hi hat. So you only need one hi hat. Any drummer just has. Actually, I think I've seen two hi hats. And whenever I saw two hi hats, I was like, "What in the world?" Now you see these two down here. These are floor toms. Um, yeah, floor. No, I'm sorry. These are bass. The big round beige ones. These are bass drums. Uh, the Apple has only one bass drum on this sample. A lot of musicians, like louder bands, maybe jazz bands, have two basses. They have double bass. So what they do is these little metal pieces. This is called the foot pedal. There's one foot pedal. There's another foot pedal, and you can either have like a double foot pedal, like from here to here, or whatever. Um, and so like you hit one, it's the same sound, It's kind of the same thing there. And there's their snare, the snare of this sample. Um, bass snare, bass snare. So what they do is they really like they carry that with a hi-hat. See. So this app gives you the close and the open options. Let's say I do it closed. Then I hit the bass. That's I repeat. Notice that little animated kick pedal. That's the bass pedal. Animates and kicks. So then you put the snare in between, and there's different like numbers and stuff that you can go at. It's like 1, 3s, 05s, kind of okay, slowly getting this. Cool. Yeah, so you want to keep like your tempo with your hi-hat, or keep it with your ride. Let's see, where's the ride? Here's the ride. There's only one ride in here, but there's 3 splashes. It's like, oops, 3 crazy splashes. So yeah, they got. Let's see if I pull that back. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, but you want to keep your tempo with your ride or your hi-hat. Just the same thing as you would do with a hi-hat. You do it in a different tempo. Same thing with ride. The bell, it's got a different sound because it's that bell where the metal is like kind of curved. It's like if you look at a ride, I can probably bring one next time I do one of these. Uh, 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 what is this? Ride cymbal. It's a very like it's literally like a bell curve in metal, and it makes that higher bing sound than it does where you're further out on the disc, kind of thing right there. So if we do compare that over to what to what Apple has, theirs is a lot simpler. It's let's see, it's the same bell. That outer edge. You get the hi hat, and that set is that's pretty distinct. That it's that sort of airish sound versus when it's closed. Their closed button is over here. See if you can tap that. So so then once you get you got that beat going at the number that you want. And you can almost hear that where you're going to hit that snare. Like if you kind of listen in your mind, you can hear, hey, the snare goes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's just so many different numbers you can run that at. So many different tempos, different beats. And I'm not a master of like music theory. I'm not a master of really any of the like, hey, it should be this or that. But like, there's just a lot of different options that you can go with. So let me just try to jam here and say, okay, wow, I hit a button and it gives me all of the names. Any questions so far? on terminology, any questions on what, how you should approach it, what should you be more familiar with? Any questions so far that are not clear that I've gone over, but maybe not clear? I'll let you. I'll hold for questions for a minute and see if you have any, any questions. Good job so far explaining it. Thank you. See if there's anything we need to view. Alrighty. So let me go ahead and do a sample here. And yeah, maybe next time I can do some more show and tell of actual drums. But this right here, this is a real drum piece. Vater. I don't know what they did. Vater percussion. Vader or Vater? I don't know. Percussion. This is basically just a practice pad. So if you had a drumstick, let's pretend this is a drumstick, or let's pretend this nice eye pencil is a drumstick. You would basically just use this to tap on that, to hit on that, and it's sort of a rubber pad. Or you've got the side here. I'll use the pin, it's really just a practice pad, but it is actually pretty helpful in practicing drums. Do some adjustments here. Okay. So again, I'm gonna do hi-hats. No, I'm gonna do ride. So I'm gonna keep my my tempo with the ride. So making tempo. Let me look that up real quick and just be sure I know what I'm saying as far as keep tempo. Like if you Google keep tempo with ride cymbal, let's see what that says. I'm gonna pull it up on mine. What the hell? Keep tempo with the ride cymbal. Ride cymbal. How to play up tempo. What is the ride on the drum? The ride cymbal is a symbol of material sustain used to maintain a beat in music. Wikipedia says the ride cymbal is a symbol of material sustain used to maintain a beat in music. Well, that's really helpful, Wikipedia. A standard in most drum kits. Okay. The ride's function is to maintain a steady pattern, sometimes called a ride pattern, rather than provide the accent of a crash cymbal. That's a lame excuse description. Reddit. Why do drummers hit the ride cymbal? Ride, I think. Okay, yeah. Basically, here's how you use it. Enough of the literature. It's time to jam. I'm just going to start a tempo with the ride cymbal. I think it's a 1-2-3 or 1-2-5. I'm not really sure. One, two, three, four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm hitting the bass drum on the 1. Am I hitting the bass drum on the 1? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, I'm hitting the bass drum on the 1. Let's say I hit the bass drum on the 1 and the 2. Both. 1 and the 2. So that's hitting the bass drum on the 1 and the 2. Hitting the bass drum on just the 1. Turn this up a little bit. So then I'm going to throw in the snare I'm going to throw in the snare on the two, I think. No, I'm throwing the snare on the three. So it's one, two. So now I'm going to pick up the tempo, go a little faster. So that's kind of going. That's when it gets kind of counting versus just going off of, where you're either counting or you're just doing it randomly. Sometimes you can accidentally go into a different tempo and you don't realize it, or not really knowing what tempo you're in. But what's really important is just as long as you stay. So you can hit the bass drum as many times as you want within the same 1 2 3 4 or 1 2 3 4 5. So let's see what the Android version has. Yeah. A lot more. All right. Any questions on the cowbell? What you saw here is a cowbell. I think I don't have a cowbell, but I do have was it's a brick. It sounds similar to a cowbell. It's this like this little sort of blocky sound that comes out of it, bonk, bonk, sort of deal. It's pretty fun. This sounds good. Now I just need to figure out how to do it. I suck at the sort of screen clicking in the right time. Screen clicking in the right. Um, you mean like the timing? The timing with the buttons on here, or do you mean like using this? I guess what would you I guess need the most help on? I guess if you had this app or if you had the Apple one, what where would you want I guess want to start? The timing of it. Okay, yeah, it does take practice. Um, I think the best way to practice, as often as you can, just like let's just say you have, you know, literally just anything. It could be a piece of Tupperware, could be a piece of tin. I don't know, whatever. Um, just something that I noticed that cardboard boxes, like if you have a cardboard box, an electronic device or something, cardboard boxes do tend to have a lot of pretty good acoustic to them. Like let's say, let me try this case. It's just regular cardboard box, kind of torn up and fancy. Oh, it's a glass screen protector. There you go. So all I'm doing is just I'm just hitting it with a thumb, maybe your fingernail if you have part of it. You kind of give it a sharper sound, kind of scratch on it. Kind of like that. So yeah, you can even do it with a cardboard box, or if you have one of these, try one of these. I'm going to try to go back to the iPhone. I don't know. Let's see if I can. 1 second. 1 second. It is a little harder to see this example than it is, the iPad. Um, so the toms, you can hit them really at any time you want. Um, I'm always more familiar with the floor tom. The floor tom is little bit closer sounding. It's close to the sound. The floor tom will give you